build another Iowa 80 level truck stop, we need to have 75-ish minimum acres of land to then put a major truck stop on. I know they would never come out and just buy a little bit of postage stamp and say, all right, we're going to make a 25 parking truck stop. They would never do that because that's not to the level of what they would expect out of themselves.
Oh, Ben, thanks for coming down.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here and see the facility you guys have. It's awesome, yeah.
So I want to point out, thanks for bringing this little model diecast truck.
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
So our Iowa 80 Truckers Jamboree is just one of the largest ones in the nation. We celebrated 60th annual last year. And so this year being just another example of what Iowa 80 Group has put together for our truckers and the people who make this world go round, right? If it's here, it came on a truck, and this is evidence of that too. But we do a great job for our customers as well as yours.
Yeah. Well, I usually wait to the end, but I want to go ahead and give you our gift.
Oh, well, thank you.
This is from us.
Oh, wonderful.
So, we're in ag and farming. So Carhartt is a brand that we love giving out. We know it's durable. But yeah, that's for you. There's some goodies inside there. A trucker hat and some other stuff. So
wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, I understand you guys have a little bit of a wall with some other trucks on it too, right?
Yeah, we do. So we're getting ready to celebrate our 4th annual conference. We took some of these models to our last conference and they did not make it home.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're replenishing the stack. So, and we may have to make a comment if we bring them down again this year that these are not to take home with you.
Have a little pop-up tent sign. Please leave alone.
Yeah, we have little displays on each of the tables for this happy hour, and some of them didn't make it back. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
I do
these are
remember seeing those
expensive. So
and that's one of the things that we try to keep these models affordable for the drivers. It is not easy. When they started this many, many years ago, it was like, hey, let's punch out 500, 1,000 of these, and it wasn't too bad. The time delay to get the model created and then developed and sent to us, it's about a 10-month process for us. And so as soon as the Jamboree's over, they get going on it and they order them. And then I think it was 2 years ago, we literally drove to Chicago, picked up the pallet to get them back in time for a Jamboree. So it's a very tight turnaround, even though it's such a long process.
We just made an order earlier this year, I guess, for some, and actually that truck right behind you, Mike Cordy. Oh, nice. So we did an order of 100 of those that should be arriving sometime this fall. But our goal is every year to feature one of our truckers and get a model set that we can give out. So yeah, these things are just timeless. You can have these, if you go to any trucking company, you can go you'll see them in the glass cases on the walls. So yeah, we like.
Yeah, I just celebrated my 9th year with Iowa 80 Group, and I have one from every year. I've bought one, and I have a little display down in my basement. And I'm like, hopefully, 20, 25 years from now, be like, look, kids, there's the whole wall of every year of dedication I've had.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to collecting them each year, and they just tend to get better and better every year, I think. So
yeah. Talking about your history, though, you've been with I-80 for 9 years. Before that, involved in trucking, or?
I was. So 15 years old, I had a buddy of mine. His mom was the accountant for a local agent for Atlas Van Lines.
Yeah.
And so 15 years old, they asked me to come lump some furniture on the docks, started loading trucks, worked for him part-time all through college. And then when I turned 18, he's like, hey, you've been backing these trucks in the dock and loading them. Why don't you figure out how to start making some money for me on the outside? And got my Class B CDL, did a bunch of local stuff for him for a couple years.
Where was this?
College in Davenport, Iowa.
Okay.
So Hawkeye Movers was the name of the agent. Chuck, the owner there, taught me how to drive a truck, taught me the essence of moving furniture was you're going to work too hard all the time.
Yeah.
It was great running a marathon every single day, carrying, thousands of pounds of furniture while you're doing it. And so it was a great workout. And once I got old enough to get my Class A CDL through college, I went over the road with him every summer, and he paid a lot of my way through college. And as soon as I graduated college, with an elementary ed degree, he's like, hey, why don't you come back and drive full time for me? And I said, I got to try this teaching thing. Did it for about 5 years. Love teaching, transitioned into some sales, got into pharmaceutical sales, But on the weekends and occasionally I still come back and drive truck. I think the industry just gets in your blood. It's hard to get out.
Yeah.
So still did that off and on. Fast forward a few different jobs later, I was running a terminal for a local trucking company out of Muscatine, Iowa, when Iowa 80 reached out to me. And Delia, one of our owners, met with her, and she's like, hey, let's combine your sales experience, your trucking background, and get you involved with Iowa 80's fleet sales. And so my role now with them is to meet with trucking companies and negotiate like fuel contracts and discount programs together with them at our 3 locations. Obviously, everybody hears about Walcott, Iowa 80, world's largest truck stop.
Yep.
But we also own the Joplin, Missouri Petro, just down the road from you guys here, and then Kinley, North Carolina Petro. And those 3 locations make up our Iowa 80 group of truck stops that I represent and market to our customers.
You said you guys are just celebrating your
60th
anniversary.
So 1964 is when Bill and Carolyn Moon originally purchased and took over the Iowa 80 truck stop. From there, Bill would sit in the little cafe area that they had and just talk to drivers, say, why did you stop here? What do you need to see the next time you come here? And just continue to provide the things that the drivers wanted and asked for and needed when they came and stopped. And it was a perfect location between Des Moines and Chicago and Omaha as stopping.
I was just going to ask, so is that a major corridor for...
Yeah, in Interstate 80 was just being developed and being finished back in 64 when they bought the land and took over that property. And so it was a great stopping area. And back then, drivers were able to stop kind of when they needed to for their safety side and take a little break, take a nap, whatever. And it was perfect because it's about 3 hours outside of Chicago. So they could stop there and wait and hit the Chicago area at the right timing instead of with some of the stuff that they have to just keep pressing through with ELDs today. But it was perfect location for the drivers. And that was the first thing that kind of got customers to stop at the Iowa 80. And then, like I said, Bill would just continuously say, what do you need to see next time? What do you have to have? What do you want to have? And it's turned into the world's largest truck stop and just about every amenity you can possibly ask right now. So
I just saw there was a TV station or did a broadcast, like an episode of it. I mean, it was more than a podcast. It was some anchor came up and interviewed.
Yeah, we've had a lot of local stations have come out and done interviews with Heather DeBailey. She was our marketing person. Now Lee Meyer has taken over that role. But we get phone calls all the time saying, hey, we're going to send a crew out there. Can we meet with you guys? Give us a little tour, tell us the background history, things like that. But we've had like Larry the Cable Guy back when the peak of his time. He came out and did a full hour episode where he wandered around for a while, showed off what the Iowa 80 had. And Truck-O-Mat is one of our sister companies that does truck wash. And we have what's called a Dog-O-Mat that's right out front of that for dog wash. He actually, part of that episode, he was in the Dog-O-Mat dog wash doing his shower, per se. Yeah. So, yeah, there's been a ton of people. And now with all the podcasts and, the influencers that are out there now, a lot of them come through and they really just stop and like, holy cow, look at this place. And they don't even necessarily contact us ahead of time. They just make their podcasts and show off what they have. And it helps. I mean, just getting the word out of what amenities are there. So many truck stops now that are being built on little bitty postage stamps and very little parking and very little amenities. It's like come in, get out, get on to the next place. The Moon family really focuses on what do the drivers need? What do they want to see when they come? And we want you to stop here and be comfortable, as well as get a little feel of home when you're there. These guys don't make it home very often anymore. And so to give them, whether it's 30 minutes, 10 hours, or a full 34-hour restart, there's going to be stuff for them to do while they're there at all 3 of our locations, not just the Iowa 80.
Talk about for people that have never been to Walcott. And I personally haven't. I know we've come up for the truck show. We've set up booths up there. But what will people experience when they come to Walcott?
Well, first and foremost, they're going to realize that 900 parking spots is huge. Most truck stops are average around 65 to 70 parking spots right now. And that's why they got to shut down at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So 10 times the size of...
It is. like I said, the average one's about 70. So when you look at that 900 lined, concreted, safe, legal parking is the first thing that they notice when they pull in. Now, I'm not going to lie. Those first few spots, those first couple of rows, they fill up pretty quick. But these drivers know that when they come to Walcott and to Joplin that has almost 400 parking spots, Kinley, North Carolina, just under 400 parking spots, when they come to those locations, they know that they can push their clock a little bit longer to get to one of those to safely and legally park at one of our Highway 80 locations. Once they park and come inside, they're going to walk into basically a Disneyland for a truck driver, or like a Mall of America for these drivers, that they're going to see in Walcott a 30+ thousand square foot chrome shop, that anything that you can put in or on a truck is going to be available for them. We have a full 24-hour sit-down restaurant in the Highway 80 kitchen. And then outside of that, we have 8 additional restaurant-style places that they can choose what they want to eat, instead of walking into a smaller truck stop saying, well, you got a roller dog or maybe MD's that's over there. But they have 9 total different restaurants to choose from, and 2 of them open 24 hours a day for a hot, fresh meal every single day. Have 24 different showers for them to use that are open all the time. The average wait is usually within a minute. They're going to get the access code to get into their shower. And these showers aren't just a little 6x6 cell that they're walking into that is not convenient. It is a high-end hotel style shower and area that they can truly relax in. We had the derecho. I don't know if you remember hearing about the Iowa derecho that hit about 6 years ago now, but a land hurricane came through, and my family actually had to come out there and shower at our truck stop because we were without power for a period of time. And I remember my wife going, I don't want to shower out there. And I said, honey, you're going to be fine. It's going to work out all right. And we went out, and as she's walking into the door, she's like, this is super nice. And I was like, I know, it's a little piece of home that these drivers can feel comfortable in, and they can walk in there, be in there for a period of time, and not have to worry about being stuck in a little bitty shower area. Full shower facilities there. We have laundry on site. Dentist that is there, has been there for over, I believe, 30 years now. Chiropractor that does DOT physicals. We have a 3rd generation barber.
I've seen the barber, yeah.
It's just amazing with, again, as it grew, it was, what do they need? What do the drivers need when they come here? And there's a quiet area that they could sit and read, watch their tablets, whatever. Have a full theater inside that can seat about 50-some people in the theater that they, during sporting events, will put on the Super Bowl and things like that. The drivers can sit in there and not only relax, but sit down and talk to one another too. That's another thing that in a lot of these smaller truck stops, they don't have an area that they can just stand around and talk. And so with the Highway 80, Joplin, and Kinley, there's designated areas where these drivers can sit down and just shoot the you-know-what together and just talk about what's going on over the road. And it creates a home feeling for them.
It's interesting. I didn't realize that you said that, because there's been an explosion. I see it, we're here in Springfield up on 44 of these micro truck stops, if you want to call it. But yeah, just enough to get in there, get your fuel, get something to eat, probably not the most nutritious, and get on the road.
Yeah.
And that's, almost a disservice to the drivers.
In one of the hugest issues in the U.S. right now is safe, legal truck parking. And when you have companies that come out and they build 30 new truck stops and all of them have 50, 60 parking spots, it's great, but it's not what these drivers need in a huge parking lot so a lot of people can come and safely do it. The smaller truck stops, as you said, they want them to come in, get fuel, get on out of the way so the next guy can come in, and they don't focus on what do these drivers need for a 10-hour break. And I see it all the time. I drove down last night seeing drivers that are forced to park on an entrance ramp or an exit ramp somewhere, or have 65 trucks parked at a rest area when there's only truly legal parking for about 30. And they don't have the amenities. They can't take a shower there. They don't feel safe parking on an entrance ramp to a rest area and have to walk, 100 yards in the dark and hopefully get to and from there safe. When you have the bigger truck stops that offer everything that they need and the safety that comes along with it, that's what the Highway 80 group has really focused on.
What really goes on in the process of strategically looking at a truck stop? Because when you're talking 75 spots minimum, or in your case, some of these 900, like what's the process of trying to figure out whether this is a great location to put a truck stop?
I think first and foremost, you have to look at it. Is it a heavy lane of traffic for trucks? I drive across the country seeing customers all day long, and I pull up over a hill or something, and you see this little bitty truck stop that was just developed and put in here. You look like, why is that even here? And some of it is, well, we haven't had a truck stop for 40 miles. Let's put one up and see what happens. From the Iowa 80 perspective, it is, where is the need from the driver? You know, Walcott, when it was developed in 1964, it was a perfect stopping point halfway between Des Moines and Chicago. So our company takes that and looks at it and say, all right, where is the need for this? And if the need is in X, Missouri, where is the opportunity for land to be? And we want to have a large space that we can put an Iowa 80 level truck stop there. So from the strategic side, they're looking at, is there a need? Is the land available? And can we build it to the level of expectation that we have to provide the amenities and the services and the parking, safe and legal parking that they need?
Hey guys, we're super excited. We just launched the BulkLoads Fuel Card. After years of preparation and planning, we now have a card for our BulkLoads members. If you're interested, go to the link below or go on BulkLoads and click on the Fuel Card tab. This card we have put together, you can save at all the major truck stops. We're super excited to get it out there. So check out the BulkLoads Fuel Card.
Your role today, dealing with, you're more on the fuel side, is that right? Or
yes.
Okay.
So my primary role is on the fuel side, working negotiations on discount programs.
Yep.
But with our Truck-O-Mat truck wash, we work together with companies, and I know talking with Tyler earlier, we're going to look at possibly putting something together with Truck-O-Mat and some discount programs for the bulk load customers.
Yeah, that's huge for our industry.
Absolutely. And, you know, especially on the hopper side, it's so hard to find places that will do hopper bottom washouts anymore. And Truck-O-Mat has backed it and said, yes, we will do this. We'll continue to do it. We obviously need to know what we're washing out so that we can protect ourselves on the sanitation side. But we do that at all of our locations. Now, I say all, we have 8 Truck-O-Mat locations scattered through the Midwest, and then the one out in Kinley, North Carolina. We love to work together with you guys a little bit more, get those maps out and say, hey, we're here to help support on the ag side and the bulk side. But our third sister company is Catscale. So the Iowa 80 group owns all the Catscales across the U.S. and Canada.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
wow.
I remember when I interviewed with Delia, she's like, oh, we own this Catscale company too. And I'm like, oh, the one here in Walcott? She's like, no, all of them.
Yeah, because how many are there? There's
gosh, we're just over 2,300 right now. So basically every major truck stop that's out there, you'll find a Catscale at. Any place that there's a need for it is really where our developers there look and go out and say, hey, new interstate or new location here, their new rail spur that's developed. We need something there to help these drivers.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where with the Weigh My Truck app, the drivers can hit a button. It'll show them their 5 closest locations. And then using that Weigh My Truck app, they no longer have to go inside to the truck stop and pick up their scale ticket and park and go inside and all that. They get it all right there on their phone. So they're getting scaled in about 3 to 4 minutes. Scale tickets emailed to them. They know exactly what their weights are, that they're legal, and they're back on down the road. So
wow,
super easy. But yeah, with those 3 is kind of what my primary role is the fuel, then to the truck wash and the Catscale side. Combined gives me a nice little group of stuff to talk about.
I want to make sure I'm plugged. Like, we now have a partnership with I-80 at all 3 locations, right?
Correct.
Through TA.
Yeah. So
they're a fuel card.
Yeah, with your guys' new fuel card, we were able to put some discounts in place that are specific for bulk loads and say, hey, you know, we want to become partners together.
Yeah.
And in this industry, I think that's one of the things that is so important is you can go out and find a company that may give you a discount for a little bit, but there's no true partnership. And we wanted to put something together, and working with Kristen and Tyler and you, Jared, was how can we work together to help your customers as well as their customers help us in return? And without your customers, we don't exist. So we have to make sure that we're providing what they want and what they need. And one of their top expenses right now is fuel. And we understand that, and we want to say, how can we put a program in place that is going to help benefit your guys for working so hard, as well as give them an amazing amount of amenities and services that they deserve when they're out on the road. And so our new program has been put together that's going to save them, working with Kristen, I think we're talking in the neighborhood of about 70 to 80 cents a gallon right now.
Oh my gosh.
On this discount program that we've put together, and that's through the new BulkLoads Fuel Card. And all 3 of our locations are going to be part of that discount program.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's huge.
Now, and I will say with full disclosure, I did introduce Kristen to the TA Petro folks.
Yep.
We are obviously franchised with TA Petro, so we are underneath that umbrella. And so Kristen is actively working with TA Petro, and that hopefully by the time this airs, that will be in place. And then there'll be some other TA Petro folks that will be able to offer some discounts. But, that going back to that partnership, TA Petro is a great partner. But I hope that Iowa 80 Group will be a really big focus for your folks to find our locations. That's where we're at.
That's cool. This morning, actually, before on my way into work, I got a call, and ironically, I still get calls from members, and I think my phone number is somewhere on the website, my cell phone number, which is fine. I actually enjoy, I get a random call, but it was an individual from Arkansas, and he was just saying how tough the industry is right now. And unfortunately, he's like, I got to pause my membership. I'm going to park the truck. And I started asking him why, but he just started talking about where the economy is today. And he's like, you put pencil to paper and crunch these numbers. And he just talked about, the cost of equipment. And, right now he said his average was $2 a mile. And he's like, I got to be, at least 50, 60 cents over that per mile to break even.
Right.
But I say all this, how does your role, or how does I-80 look at that? We know, and I've been in the industry 20 years, you've been in it for a while, you see these ups and downs, but how do you combat when you do have challenging times like this?
I think for us, I look back, the first major hurdle that I hit with the Iowa 80 Group obviously was COVID. And when we came through COVID, it was everybody's scared to death at first, and we're like, all right, we'll make this through this couple weeks, no big deal. We'll chill out at home or whatever. These drivers didn't have an opportunity to do that, so we had to look at and say, what can we provide to them? What do we need to provide to them to make sure that they're able to do their job when so many places just closed their door?
Yeah, a lot of these people weren't letting drivers in the restrooms.
Yeah, restrooms, definitely restaurants and all that. So, these drivers were required to keep moving in order to keep America moving. And so Iowa 80, when they came through and said, these people have to eat somewhere. What do we need to do? We opened up our restaurants and said, well, one, our doors never closed. Never once did we close our doors. We were able to keep our showers going with increased cleanliness and different procedures that we had there. But our restaurants was probably our number one thing. And we started doing curbside delivery. Drivers could call ahead and say, hey, I want this tenderloin and it's French fries. Perfect. We had somebody literally walk it out to their truck at curbside, and we were able to do those services for them to keep those drivers moving along. You fast forward to today with fuel pricing and everything that they need when they're on the road. We try to keep our costs as low as we can. Obviously, we're here to make a little bit of money too. Right. So again, I go back to that partnership of, if you can make a little bit of money, I can make a little bit of money. We both live to see another day. I work with customers all the time. They call me and say, man, Ben, you got to cut out X, Y, and Z of your pricing in order for us to even come to your location. Usually great big companies that are trying to force a price on you. And we've backed away from some of those partnerships and said, hey, this isn't a partnership if you get 100% and I don't get anything.
Can I ask you, do you all see gallons down this year with the economy slowing down? And
probably in the last 4-ish months, we've started to see gallons starting to increase again.
Okay.
Year over year, month over month. It was a hard 2 years as we continue to see gallons drop and drop. And, and my role is to bring more gallons and more customers to the business. So I would sit back at the end of the day, go, what can I do to help out? And I just can't continue to give diesel away, right? Or else we're not going to be here to help support these customers. So it was a hard line to sit down and say, what can we do together to make this work? And, you talked about the economy, and we're starting to see a little bit of tides turning a little bit. Rates still aren't great by any means, but we're starting to see more and more customers saying, all right, it's not terrible right now. And I think we're starting to see some good things coming. Like I said, gallons continue to go up a little bit, but I think the other piece that comes into that is locations that are continuing to focus on the drivers, continuing to focus on the amenities that are offered. Those are the locations and the truck stops that are doing okay.
Well, I want to hit on that because, we've worked with other fuel card providers in the past, but one thing we found out, like, it's hard to push drivers to a fuel stop unless there's an incentive besides the fuel. Mm-hmm. And I say that because we, doing this in the past, we've tried to push guys, and we just ask them plain, like, why can't you can save money filling up over here? And it's always the same answer. It's like, well, Jared, like, I like the person that works here, or I like the amenities better, or I like the foods better. A lot of times it's the person that they're dealing with behind the counter. Yeah. They're like, man, I deal with Betty over here, and man, she's such a sweetheart, takes care of me, knows me by my first name when I walk in. Yeah. And they are willing to sacrifice saving on gallons for that human interaction and that convenience, the way they feel.
Absolutely. And we hear about that all the time. Our Iowa 80 kitchen that's been there just as long as the truck stop has. There's a couple ladies that have been working there for 25 plus years. Small little side note, Tika is one of our servers there. Her kids, when I was teaching school, I actually taught her kids through school. So when I started with the Iowa 80 group, I saw her again, and she'd been there, I think she's almost 30 years she's been there. And then there's another gal there named Mary that has been there forever. And those two ladies are the backbone of the restaurant. And to your point, drivers come in and they're like, where's Tika's section? And they know that's where they're going to go sit over there. Now, I think there is a line in the sand, definitely, where drivers are willing to pay maybe $10, $15, $20 more over here to have those amenities. But at the same point, they're looking at it going, in today's economy, I can't afford it in some places. Yeah. But the ones who provide great amenities, great services, and can be competitive on the pricing, those are the ones that are going to win out. And that's where I said, again, the partnership of like, what do your drivers need? They need a little bit of help on the fuel side. Well, let's see what I can do to put a discount program in place to help them on that. And then once they get here, they're going to stay. We know that we can win that battle every single day at the Iowa 80 group because we do offer more amenities and services than anybody else does out there.
I keep talking about I-80, and I know there's multiple locations. Again, the one down here in Joplin. Why the one down in is it Kinley? You said?
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
To my knowledge, the story behind that was a franchise-owned location, and when the owner wanted to get out of that location, he reached out to Will and Delia, our current owners, and said, "Hey, I'm looking to get out of this. Are you guys looking to expand?" And there was a conversation. One thing led to another, and we purchased that location. It's been a really good location there in Kinley because it sits kind of right in the middle of North Carolina on I-95. So if you have a bunch of these East Coast guys that are running from Florida up to the Northeast and back and forth, it's almost exactly in the middle of that I-95 corridor. It is the largest truck stop on that I-95 corridor, north and south. So when drivers are looking for a place to have a little safe haven to hang out, again, relax and refresh, the Kinley location is perfect for them. Almost 400 truck parking. We just did a major expansion out there that finalized this summer. So they added in a Starbucks restaurant or Starbucks quick serve there. And I think we're up to 6 different restaurants that the drivers can choose from there. Again, about a 25,000 square foot chrome shop on top of that with a truck-o-mat for truck wash and everything that drivers are going to need.
You said current ownership, Ray and Delia?
Will and Delia.
Will and Delia.
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. Is that family?
It is. So okay. Bill and Carolyn, their parents started in 1964, and then Will and Delia stepped in and have been running that for, I honestly don't know how many. Exactly.
So they'd be third generation?
So this second generation,
okay.
Their kids, I mentioned Lee Meyer is our VP of marketing right now. That is Delia's daughter.
Okay.
And so there is the third generation already in place in some of the leadership roles. I don't see either one of them going anytime soon anywhere. They're both very active in the industry and very active in our truck stops on a daily basis. Will can be found over at the food court almost every single day with a group of his buddies sitting over there eating lunch and doing a lot of what his dad did, of just sitting around looking to see what are the customers wanting, what are they needing, and then transitioning that back into our strategic planning teams and saying, let's look at this, let's do this.
As far as expanding, you've got 3 locations now. Are there talks? Are they looking at continuing to grow other stops and other locations?
From a sales perspective, God, I hope so. I honestly don't know that question. Again, going back to the economy, it's very challenging to create something that the Iowa 80 has standards to. In order for us to build another Iowa 80 level truck stop, we need to have 75-ish minimum acres of land to then put a major truck stop on. I know they would never come out and just buy a little bit of postage stamp and say, all right, we're going to make a 25 parking truck stop. They would never do that because that's not to the level of what they would expect out of themselves. So expanding is not off the table. I just don't think in the near future right now a new Iowa 80 truck stop is on the forefront, but they could shock me with that news tomorrow. I don't know.
I mentioned earlier when we were speaking, but we participated in the truck show that they have. Can you speak a little bit about the truck show for people that don't know about? And actually, I think this is where that was taken behind me, if I remember correctly, at the I-80.
Walcott?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Walcott. Yeah.
Don't just say that. I do see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
absolutely.
when we had a booth up there. One of our guys flew a drone up and got that footage.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, so it's July of every single year. We do the Iowa 80 Truckers Jamboree, and it's the same weekend every single time. So the second full weekend of July, we have...
Sounds warm.
It is. It is always warm, but it's always... it's the same weekend every single time. So we have drivers that they know this is where I'm going to be the second full weekend of July every year. And we have some of our show truck drivers that have been coming for, I think last year when we did our little banquet with our show truck guys, the one gentleman had been there for 41 years. I think he'd been coming and bringing a show truck every single year. We also have an antique truck show side of that. So with show trucks and antiques, we had, I think it was just around 225 different trucks in our show there. And so it brings in the young generation to see what this industry is all about, and it gives them the opportunity to look inside of the truck. Some of the show truck drivers will let the little kids up into the trucks and see that. So it helps educate our general public on it's not scary to be a truck driver. It's an absolute necessity to do what they do. And opens up the idea of it's not just the big box trucks that you see down the line. We have tow trucks that are in there. We have a lot of ag trucks, a lot of bull haulers. There you go.
Livestock haulers.
Yes, livestock. So it gives everybody a little bit of opportunity and an insight of what drivers do on a daily basis. We average about 45,000 people that come through on that weekend to see the truck stop, to see the trucks. And then obviously we have a great big circus tent that is put up for all of our vendors that come in there. And it's everything from people looking at fuel cards to selling mud flaps to, selling Cutco knives or something along those lines. It's a little bit of everything that is there for the public as well as the drivers. And it is, again, a little bit of Disneyland for the drivers to wander around and see these trucks. And it never ceases to amaze me every single year when I walk up and down through those lines to see the level of dedication that these drivers have and professionalism that they have to take care of this massive piece of equipment that they're driving around. And that is their home for, 10 months out of the year at least, if not the full 12 months. So.
Yeah. The truck show they have in Joplin, is that through you all, or is that a different?
So we do one in Joplin every single year as well, but every other year, and this year is one of those, we partner with a few other businesses that are local there in Joplin, Chrome Shop Mafia, and things like that. So this year is going to be a massive truck show in the Joplin area. They do... I don't even know truck count that they have for their show trucks, but they do a lot of different events that we partake in as well. And so I believe you guys are coming down there, going to have a booth with us. So hopefully stop by and see you guys as well as check out our Joplin location. But it is it's a major, again, kickback to the industry. Say, hey, thank you for what you do. We're going to give you a weekend to just kind of sit and relax, show off your equipment, and have the public come by and check us out.
I went to that one. It would have been 2016 or 17. It was still when it was myself and another partner in the business. So I went down there and had some business cards, and took my family and kids, and we had a great time. I remember my kids, they had the little tractor kiddie pool that one of them, I still have the video of it. But it was crazy. A couple years ago, I got a call from a guy, and he said, hey, I remember you dropped this business card off. He was showing a truck down there, and he was interested in getting signed up on BulkLoads. So it was a good ROI, like going down there 8 years prior, whenever it was. Yeah. And meeting with those. And again, just all the owner, especially there's a lot of owner operators that attend, that also show really, really remarkable trucks.
Yeah. And it is, when I was with another business, we did a booth at our Walcott, Iowa ED every year. And from an ROI, from a business side, it's a great investment. One, to get your name out there, and just to say thank you for your customers that come by. We have a lot of recruiting companies that come in and just treat it as a appreciation. Tell their driver, stop by, I'll buy you a pork chop dinner up in Walcott or whatever. But just the name out there. And so again, those kids, 10, 12, 15 years old, they're coming by and going, what is BulkLoads? Come over, let's answer the question. What do you do? And not only just from the driving side, but you guys have an amazing facility here that, gosh, I think I met about 30 people that are supporting here in the office. There's going to need for people to run the insurance side, run the load board side, and everything. Yep. So it's a great opportunity to help get the information out to the public. Yeah.
Well, Ben, thanks for coming down to our Springfield office. And it was great meeting you. And thank you for this partnership. We're excited to, and again, like you said earlier, like looking at this as a partnership to help our customers on the fuel side. And we'll actually have more information down below in this link for our fuel cards if you want to learn more about that, to get people set up. But yeah, I know you got to hit the road again, heading south. So yeah, we'll let you get on there. Thank you so much. God bless you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.